What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about top 7 habits preventing you from fat loss. This is an article written by ISSA. That is the organization that I got my personal training certifications from. So I've learned a lot from them, and I figure with New Year's resolutions coming around, maybe a month in, people are starting to give up, people are starting to run into problems. Diving into this could help solve some of those problems. And your boy is about 8 pounds down. So, and I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good about that. But as everyone, the more you do it, the more you kind of start to run into like fatigue, like the mental fatigue of it. So let's jump into this. First off, I don't think they could have picked a more generic dude for this right here. Bowl of chips, looking at his videos on iPad. You guys ever seen that meme where it's just like all guys can't eat food without watching a video or something like that? It's kind of true. All right, your client might be doing all the things right, lose weight, eventually stall if you're doing some of the wrong things. Yeah, so that's true. First things first, I think it was a great way to start because going on a fat loss diet it's very simple. Like there's just a few things. You need to be eating less and then still eating protein and then working out to keep your muscle and or build muscle through it, right? So once you figure out what works, it's just about keep doing those things and then preventing stuff getting into the way of that. It's simple, but hard to do. Hello, Brendan. I do not meet you, my man. And also, talking about how it's habits that get in the way or stopping unhealthy habits that really, I've been reading this book called Essentialism. We're talking about how can you do less but better of that. So more often than not, sometimes it's not about changing who you are, but it's changing your environment that gets in the way of what you want to do. So number one, let's dive right into this. Putting too much emphasis on exercise. Yeah, I think that's, before I even read anything else, you can't outrun, you can't outwork your diet. Like your diet is the main driver for losing fat loss. So you can't just work harder and harder, which is a big proponent of what I've been talking about, where it's like, instead of working harder, what if we made the work easier to do? Physical activity is good for your overall health. Yeah, so I completely agree with that. It illustrates the importance of diet. What and how much you eat has much more significant impact on weight than exercise. Exactly what I was just saying. You can't run a bad diet for a short period of time. Yep. So, you can push yourself and you can work 110%, give 110% effort for a very short amount of time. But over the long run, that's going to be barely a drop in the bucket. And that's just going to set you up for failure, because then what are you going to do when you can't give that 110% effort anymore? You aren't going to sustain those habits, those behaviors, or whatever that will help you keep the weight off once you lose it. I also think it's important too that once you figure out a certain exercise routine, like that should be the fun part of your diet. Like going into the gym and seeing the progress, getting a good pump in the gym, feeling strong in the gym, setting PRs, like that should be the fun part. You should just do that because you enjoy it. You shouldn't be doing that to think you need to do that to lose fat. It's fun to feel strong. You feel strong when you get stronger, no matter how small of an increment that is. When you feel strong, you feel confident, you feel powerful, and those are not bad things, but they're like tools, and they will be bad things if the person does bad things with them. But it feels great to feel powerful and feel in control and feel confident. Number 2, putting too much emphasis on calorie restriction. Again, yeah, that you can't just keep taking away. That's just a crash diet, right? If the more calories you take away, again, you're just making it more unsustainable for you in the long run. So it's more so about what is the most food I can eat while still losing fat. I think that's the better way to think about it, rather than what's the most I can take out of my diet to lose fat as fast as possible. But no, it's like what is the most food I can still eat while still losing body fat? So you can't just keep removing calories and expect more and more results. Like there's a cap to how much progress you can make at a certain rate. So again, this is an infinite game, something you just do every day, and it's not just a sprint to the finish line. So far, 2 for 2, completely agree with these. They recommended 500 calories per day for a calorie deficit. Yeah, I think that's definitely like upper end of it. Like going more than that just kind of sets you up to get burnt out faster. So I'd say anywhere from a 250 to 500 calorie deficit is a great wiggle room to aim for. Number 3, not getting enough sleep. Yes, sleep is overpowered, people, if you ever haven't heard of that. But if sleep was a supplement, it would be banned in many competitions. Like I think if you ever seen Matt Fraser, he's like number 1 CrossFit champion. He has that quote where he's like, sleep is or would be a banned substance if it was like a supplement or something you like consumed. That's how impactful it is. If you were eating and consuming, if you had all these extra supplements in the world, if you were even taking steroids, but you had terrible sleep, you're still gonna have bad progress. Simple as that. And then yeah, connection between sleep and appetite is likely due to hormones. So that is a big thing as well too, that you feel fuller when you have more sleep, if that makes sense. Also, when you are sleep deprived, you naturally have more cravings for less healthy foods. Get your sleep. I'd love to make a video about that to come too, about sleep habits and just how to get a good routine, because it's about what you do consistently with sleep. It's not about having like one night of 10 hours of sleep and then the rest of the week is just like 5 hours of sleep. Number 4, eating mindlessly. Mindless eating simply means you're eating without thinking. Yes, most of us are guilty of this bad habit at least some of the time. It's easy to be distracted while eating, to try to multitask with work or zone, just food out. Yeah, I think it's also interesting that eating mindlessly sometimes, like, yeah, we do eat for more than just fuel. Like, we eat socially, out with friends, also eat for pleasure. So there's foods that are good for our body, but then there's also foods that are good for our soul, if that makes sense. And we eat them to kind of hopefully get a feeling of comfort or whatever. You know, when you eat ice cream, you eat it because it tastes good and it makes you feel good in the short term, not in the long term, but finding a balance to that is really important. And so the more mindful action you can take, the more you'll probably enjoy those comfort foods. So if you still want to eat ice cream, but instead of just haphazardly having it at like 8 p.m. or whatever after dinner, but if you intentionally think like, ooh, you know what, tonight I'm going to have some ice cream, and you think about that throughout that day, there's a lot to be said about dopamine, and it's the expecting the reward of it that makes that dopamine hit so much higher, and like you enjoy it so much more if you like actually mindfully prepare for that reward, if that makes sense. So if you are gonna have like these soul foods and some of these comfort foods, intentionally plan them out and be a little bit more mindful with them, and you'll enjoy them even more, and you'll probably eat mindlessly less. Jump right into number 5, overindulging on cheat days. Yeah, so I think a good thing to reframe this too is, instead of cheat days, think of it as a cheat meal. And like having a cheat meal, you know, once a week is a great thing to have. Like for me on Saturdays, my family, we go out or we get carry out food for dinner. And I don't care to track on those days or worry about being in a calorie deficit on those days. So like those days are days I get to like treat myself and enjoy. It's like, you know, I did some good work and now I'm gonna eat some good food throughout this week, and while still not going crazy over it. But yeah, sometimes people, especially just like an average everyday person, maybe they're really good and disciplined throughout the week, but then the weekends come, they drink a lot of alcohol, have a lot of processed foods, have a lot of those comfort foods, and there's really no balance. You're either all in, all disciplined, or you're not. And I know some people can be really successful with that, but more often than not, finding a balance between those two is what will set you up for having a good physique for life, having good healthy routines for life. Oh, and would you look at that? Number 6, drinking too much. Alcohol does have more negative impacts than positive. Like, that is pretty clear to think. I think we all know this, but yet it is still fun to have alcohol. So again, having it within balance is important. Like I stated in the last video, 1 gram of carbs, 1 gram of protein, they have 4 calories, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. 1 gram of alcohol has 7 calories in it, but there's no other nutrients in it, so it's just empty calories at the end of the day. So within reason, you can definitely have some, and you can enjoy the social benefits of it. But I think if you're drinking alcohol by yourself, and if you are having alcohol just as a way to respond to negative emotions, that when you have alcohol, it's kind of a way to cover up those negative emotions, that's really kind of a crutch to your life, that it seems like that substance is now limiting you or almost enabling bad behavior. It's causing you to turn more to like escapism, or whenever you feel a negative emotion, then you have alcohol just to cover up instead of confronting that negative emotion. So I think this really ties into mindful eating a little bit more. So it's like, why do I eat? Why do I consume the things that I do? If you truly enjoy it, and you truly enjoy drinking alcohol socially particularly, or just like a really good whiskey on the rocks or something like that, you know, like you can definitely do that, but you can't be doing that to excess. Nothing to excess. Lastly, number 7, using food as a reward. I think that's a tough one too, because we eat, again, for more than just fuel, and we eat socially. So sometimes food can be a good reward, and food is a great motivator for a lot of people. But when that's the only thing that you view it as, you tend to get further and further away of that, like, oh, eating food fuels me and helps me feel healthy. Especially when trying to lose weight effectively and keeping off. That's a lifestyle change when you have to view and change your values and beliefs around food. So if you only view food as a reward, you're missing out on this entire depth of viewing food as nutrient dense foods to fuel you, help you feel good. Ideally, we go on diets to help ourselves feel better. And because of those actions, it's a lagging measure that now we just look differently, and we have lower body fat percentage, and we have more muscle. But at the end of the day, we should be going on diets to live a different lifestyle, have different values, have different beliefs to help us feel better at the end of the day. And that just happens to make us also look quote unquote better. And then lastly, how to change those bad habits. So yeah, these are all, bad habits that we more often not know we shouldn't do, but yet we still come back to them. So if you've ever heard of Jordan Peterson, although he is somewhat controversial in media nowadays, but a great thing he talks about with cognitive behavioral therapy is that it's through repeated gradual exposure to the change we want to make is how you set that up for long term. So if someone has never worked out before, you can't expect them to go into the gym and have a 10 out of 10 workout where they're setting PRs every set, every rep. You just try to get them to the gym in the first place. Like, that's step 1. And then step 2 would be get to the gym and try different exercises. And then step 3, we get to the gym, try new exercises, and then also try a new different weight. So it's that gradual exposure, meeting your challenge level wherever your capability level is at, and then trying to progress beyond that week after week and showing up day after day. That's why viewing this as an infinite game, something you do for life, is so important to viewing progress as something that it's like, you know what, I'll enjoy the progress I made today, and I'm still going to show up tomorrow, I'm still going to show up next week and make progress again. And it's about that continual choice to show up and to make more progress. That's so important. Habits preventing you from losing weight are difficult to change. Are they? Yeah, no, I think they are. I think everyone agrees to that. I don't know. I think if people, if you have like an Andrew Tate or something like that, it's like, oh, they're not changing, you just act differently. Like, yeah, it's simple to say, but like in reality, your behavior shows just how difficult it is to change at the end of the day. And some people can do it. Some people can quit cold turkey because they have this like crazy realization where their values and beliefs change and they can immediately start to change. But more often than not, like majority of people can't do that. It takes a different approach. It's not that they can't do that eventually, but it's that they can't do that way. Enlist a friend to make positive changes. That's kind of funny to say, enlisting a friend. It's like you're it's like you're hiring a hitman to take you out or something like that if you mess up. But now I think good friends, really like good friends, they want what's best for you, and so they'll call you out on your crap when you aren't doing well. You know what I mean? And I think that's a tough thing to do with body positivity and fat acceptance nowadays, where people there's extremes, right? On one extreme, there's people saying they glorify obesity. And it's like, you don't need to change at all, but I truly think that people, they want what's best for others, will be realistic about that and call people out that it's like, yeah, you may enjoy that and who you are, but that still doesn't mean it's not your responsibility to be healthier and be better. And again, like I talked in videos previously, like being healthy, to me specifically, is not just about being able to show up for work, but being healthy means having a capacity to live a full life. And a full life to me may be different than you, but for me, that's going to be a healthy body fat percentage when you can do really cool things with your body, have a physical life where it enriches your life and everything else you got going on. And lastly, make avoiding bad habits easier by removing certain things from reach. Yes, I think this is a huge thing. If you ever read Atomic Habits, like our environment shapes who we are very directly. This is a lot of my degree in geography and just understanding how physical environments shape animals, shape societies. So we are a product of our environment. And I don't know when this started for us as humans to think we are beyond being animals and being unaffected by our environment. But we are at the end of the day. So the more you can shape and take away friction in your environment, or say if you're trying to eat healthier and you still have a bunch of unhealthy snacks in your fridge or your cupboard, what if you took those out? It'd be so much easier to not eat them because you don't even have them anymore. So, think about it today. It's like, what's one thing you can do to change your environment to help you live how you truly want to live? Another thing here, if your bad habit is eating mindlessly while scrolling through your phone, put your phone away or turn it off on meal times. A big thing that I do on my phone too is right on my home screen. You can see right there. So that little widget in the top there, that's like my screen time. And so it'll show me, like, whenever I'm opening up my phone on the home screen, it'll show me, it's like, okay, I'm at this many hours today for screen time. It's like, I should probably consciously try to do that a little bit less. So it's not reminding me that it's like, oh, I'm living so terribly, but it's just like, here is how you are living. Once you can figure out how you are living, then you can change the way you are living. But I think people don't even understand the way that they are living. So that's why if, for instance, I tell someone to just weigh themselves every day, they will consciously start to act differently. Like, I'm not even telling them to change their diet or anything, but it's just if they are more aware of whatever they are trying to change, they will start to change it. You can't know where you're going until you know where you are first. So how can you better understand the life that you're living right now? And once you understand that, then you could change it. All right, short little quick video today. I figured, I don't know, I had an idea of drinking some coffee right here. What if I call these like fresh brew reviews? I don't know, is that too cringy? I don't know, you let me know in the comments, but hope you enjoyed, hope you got some value out of this. If you are still on a fat loss journey and you're still making good progress, and maybe you're not running into good progress anymore and you're starting to run into more friction in your life, I hope this helps. I hope if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to answer them. I do have a free week of coaching coming out soon, which is talking exactly about positive behavioral change around fat loss and around body composition and how you can create not just only a physical transformation, but when we see someone that goes from, unhealthy lifestyle to a really healthy lifestyle with a great looking body, like that is so much more of a deeper personal transformation. So how can we understand that it's not just about getting physically strong, but having good strength of character as well? That's exactly what my coaching is about. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. I got that coming out soon. I will have one-on-one coaching services available, and then also I'm creating just a one-time course around that at all. So it's almost like a do-it-yourself masterclass sort of thing. I'm really going through it with the mindset of like, how could I make this better than some of my own college courses I had back at the University of Denver? Because I feel like I could actually do that, honestly. So you are getting yourself a private education dedicated to the public good from yours truly right there. Other than that, enjoy this video as a reminder to keep doing the positive habits you already got going on, and think about maybe some negative habits, that one change you can make to stop doing them. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great week this week, and I will see you, or you will see me, in the next video. Take care.
Hey guys, just quick before I end this video, I got new shoes, so I'm really fast at work. I'm just kidding, but what I will say is I completely forgot to say like, subscribe to this video. If you already did, you're fucking awesome. Enough said. You'll see you in the next one.